I'm simply candidly calling to ask for a contribution.
The Congresswoman caught on tape soliciting payments. Where your taxes are really going. And lobbying's place among the world's most despicable industries.
Tuesday is a vote to save the world as we know it, a choice between a bully feeding us lies and a group trying to keep our way of life. On Tuesday, Californians start the fight back against genetically modified organisms. It votes on Proposition 37 to force GMOs in their state to be labelled on food. Michelle may plant organics on the White House lawn, but Frankenfood rules the world. 2 in 3 US foods are already genetically engineered, and GM seeds now grow in almost every country around the globe. We've obtained this FDA memo showing most of its own scientists warn GMOs are a health danger. Cell mutations in animals-fed GMOs match those of people with autism. There still hasn't been a single GMO safety trial on humans. Celebrity ads call Yes to 37 a no-brainer, and opponents of genetically modified crops have even set up a spoof hotline.
Hello, and thank you for calling Monsanto Customer Services. If you have developed colon or brain cancer or have become sterile from eating our GMO products, please press 3.
Yes on 37's tip to kickstart a global food revolution. Monsanto is now shoveling tens of millions of dollars to politicians in a last-ditch attempt to block that vote. Investigative journalist Anthony Gucciardi has exposed vast collusion between Monsanto and government officials. He joins us now. Anthony, it's great to have you on the show. What I want to know is, why is Monsanto so scared by this vote?
Well, it's pretty simple. They don't want anyone to know, number one, that they're even eating GMOs, and number two, what the GMOs are doing to them. If the word gets out, they're ruined. It's the end of Monsanto. We've had multiple hacks on our website, other websites that are covering it. They've gone in, and instead of actually taking down our entire site, they've deleted just key anti-Monsanto articles.
Well, let me ask you this. What's been the effect of Monsanto paying politicians?
Absolutely. I mean, it owns most, if not all, United States diplomats. And in fact, they've had government officials threaten trade wars, quote-unquote military-style trade wars, against nations that deny Monsanto's biotech crops.
Government collusion not only profits Monsanto, it's hiking the price of food. $1 buys the average world citizen this much sugar. In the USA, though, government rules make it up to 4 times more expensive, meaning an American can only get this much. It's all known as the Congress money loop. Corporations bribe key senators in their sector. Senators then rubber stamp laws like a minimum sugar price and fast-track GMO safety checks. Americans get unproven GMOs that they can barely afford. Jack Abramoff was America's richest lobbyist before being imprisoned for bribing congressmen. But by those rules, he says every US senator should be in jail. Thanks for being on The Truth Seeker. Fundraiser, contribute, donation, private dinner with a politician for $50,000. First off, can we clear up these are all bribes?
People giving legislators and lawmakers and their staff gifts and contributions and meals and things like that. And what I've come to is the epiphany that indeed all of these things ultimately are really just bribes.
Yeah, how much is the public paying in kickbacks and subsidies?
Virtually all the government is involved in is at this point unconstitutional in this country. The Constitution and the founders of this country had a vision of the federal government. This country has expanded the federal government into every area of our life. So one could look at the special interests as being very much a part of that. You see, the lobbyists are unfortunately behind a lot of these proposals, and what they've left is a legacy of incredible debt and a loss of freedom, which I think Americans are getting sick and tired of.
Paying to play makes a killer investment. Fraud King Madoff promised clients 10% a year. Bankers at the height of subprime made 5 times that. Criminals like drug lords and pimps, say police, make on average returns of 100%. Big food firms flick $50 million a year at politicians and in return get direct subsidies of $20 billion. That's a profit of 40,000%. The big oil five just announced obscene record profits. $4 gas hits you once. Americans are the Britney Spears of business. $40 billion oil subsidies then hit you, baby, one more time. Hit me, baby, one more time. Obama tried to repeal just 4 of the 40 billion big oil subsidies.
Today, members of Congress have a simple choice to make. They can stand with the big oil companies, or they can stand with the American people. Right now, the biggest oil companies are raking in record profits. Profits that go up every time folks pull up into a gas station. But on top of these record profits, oil companies are also getting billions a year in taxpayer subsidies.
But then the big five pumped petrodollars into the Senate. Unsurprisingly, it blocked the Repeal Oil Subsidies Act. This election's one of the most corrupt ever, warns top author Jonathan Alter, after Supreme Court judges ruled political donations can be anonymous and unlimited.
As FBI surveillance tapes have shown, foreign governments understand and are eager to exploit the weaknesses of American campaigns.
Bizarrely, official donation site Obama.com's owned by a man in Shanghai, China. Most of its visitors are foreign. Which candidate could Mahmoud Ahmadinejad be giving to? We now can't know. America's former election regulator, Michael Toner.
Well, I tend to take a more libertarian approach to campaign finance issues, Daniel. I think the emphasis ought to be on real-time internet disclosure. Voters actually do have the ability to sort out how comfortable they are with the type of money, the type of contributors that are associated with various candidates.
If politicians won't touch a system they're milking, rewriting the Constitution is the only way, says politics expert Sanford Levinson. He joins us now. How do you actually go about changing the Constitution?
Well, the only way to rewrite it, literally, is through a process of constitutional amendment by the Supreme Court of the United States, which is conceivable if President Obama wins the election. And it is inconceivable if Governor Romney wins the election.
Let me ask you about this. What do you think about Delegate Norton demanding payments from a lobbyist?
Well, there are many people who describe the current system of campaign finance as legalized bribery. My reaction is that this is shocking, but what is equally shocking is that it's probably legal. That not only comes close, but particularly if you use certain magic words, that is bribery.
Here's Norton on the lobbyist's answer phone. She's upset that rivals are getting money.
This is Eleanor Norton, Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton. I noticed that you have given to other colleagues on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. I'm simply candidly calling to ask for a contribution. I'm asking you to give the citizens to Eleanor Holmes Norton, P.O. Box 70626, DC 20024.
Alongside Prop 37, there is another vote November 6th, but in this one there's no real choice. Mr. 1% who'll give billions more tax cuts to big oil, or Mr. President, who 4 years ago pledged to gag special interests and went back on his word. There are other candidates in this election. The corporate-run mainstream media just refuses to let them on. Yet these are the candidates representing the 99%. Professor Mark Hetherington.
Neither of the major parties speaks very effectively to the interests of a big chunk of people in the U.S. So yes, third-party movements, can have a disproportionate effect on policy.
Whether by demanding change to the Constitution or voting against the Repocrats, Americans deserve better.
For the world has changed, and we must change with it.
Time for a real change. Seek truth from facts. This is The Truth Seeker.